This is an LLD production.
Welcome to this episode of Owlia's Opinions, the new podcast in which we take a better look into the world we love, learn new things, and debate the toughest issues the world has in store. I am your host, Armon Owlia. I am a journalism student here at Drexel University in Philadelphia, and it is time to enter the new School of Thought. Thank you guys so much for tuning in this episode. I truly appreciate all of you, and I hope you will all continue to listen to this show in the future. However, before we begin, I would like to take a moment to address the families, friends, teachers, and staff of the victims of the Stoneman Douglas High School shooting in Parkland, Florida, back on Valentine's Day. It is painful to hear about gun violence in this country, especially its frequency. And it is even more so when the majority of the victims are children. 17 deaths, which now makes this the deadliest high school shooting in the United States history, surpassing Columbine. This episode of Owlia's Opinions is dedicated to the memories of the 17 victims and to those in Parkland who are listening to this show. On behalf of not only myself, but all of America, we stand by you in your moment of despair and wish everyone the best. We will do all we can to provide support, and I hope this episode help you guys out in some way. But anyway, let's get to work. So 2 weeks ago, I interviewed the vice president of Neurodragons, Gabby DeAndrea, who is a very, very interesting person. You can go back to the previous episode on our website, www.lovelearndebate.com, if you want to listen to that conversation. However, I realized that one thing was missing. You heard from the vice president, but what about the president himself? For this week's Love section, I sat down with Neurodragons president Korbin Ritter-Butz, during which we talked about animals, people, and a whole lot of bones. So Korbin, thank you so much for joining me on the program.
You're welcome.
So let's start right now. So tell us a little bit about yourself. For example, how old are you? Who are you? Where do you live? Your hobbies? Just who are you in general?
I'll be 26 in less than a month. What are my hobbies? Volunteering at the zoo?
Yeah.
Is my hobby?
Come on.
I don't really have hobbies.
Well, sort of that is a hobby. I mean, I know you love
Running
animals.
things?
Yeah. Yeah.
Animals stuff?
Mm-hmm. Come on. You're also the president of Neurodragons.
Yeah, running things.
Yeah, that's true. I didn't think about that. So when we first met, you and I, we actually connected through a specific television show. Like one show in particular.
Big Bang Theory?
Not Big Bang Theory.
I don't know that.
Bones.
Oh, yeah, Bones. Yes, Bones.
Yeah, let's talk about the show. But we really loved that show, didn't we?
Yes.
Yeah. Cool's character, of course, was Bones. Was Brendan, obviously.
Me?
No, I mean, what do you think? Seriously. Did you like Bones? Like, did you like the character?
Yes.
Yeah. So, like...
She's my favorite.
Yeah, I know. She's my favorite, too. I mean, Booth also had his qualities.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. So, you, my friend, are the president and the co-founder of Neurodragons. Why did you want to create the organization?
I thought there was a need for a organization at Drexel and in general that promoted neurodiversity.
Yeah. So we had Gabby on the episode last week, and she brought up the NeuroScholars Student Summit at the Franklin Institute. Can you give us any updates or potentially the date of the summit, what we might be seeing, what we might be hearing, anything new regarding that? And you guys are not seeing this, but he's checking his phone right now, just to figure out a few things.
April 6th.
April 6th, and it's at the
From 8 a.m. to 3 p.m.
Yeah, so it is going to be long, and we're going to be going through a lot during that summit. Anything we can expect?
There will be Anthony Ianni will be the keynote speaker. He's on the spectrum. He was the first NCAA basketball player on the spectrum.
Yeah. And, it's actually a fun process so far of going there. I mean, you and I and Jen of our team.
Division One basketball.
Division One, thank you. But, you, myself, Jen, we're going to be actually headed to Franklin Institute tomorrow to scout the location. You
I won't be there.
Oh, that's right, you aren't. If you were able to go, would you be really excited?
Yes.
Yeah.
The Franklin Institute is really cool. I've been there before.
Yeah, really? So,
I've been there a few times.
what's so special about the Franklin Institute?
It's really cool scientific institute. They've I love going for Body World. They have a lot of science. They show lots of cool different things with they have a heart there where you can go in.
Wow.
It's not real, but and then they have this sports exhibit where you they show the different things about sports and how it works with your body and stuff. And then they have like a robot area, which is really cool.
Yeah, I bet.
And the planetarium.
I love planetariums. They're so cool. They're amazing, actually. So what do you think... Yeah. So what do you think overall of the group dynamic of Neurodragons? I know Gabby touched on this last week, but I want to get your opinion on that.
What do you mean?
How does the group work together? Is it a really fun environment, or is it really just sort of fragmented? Is it what do you think about it? How the group operates together?
It works pretty well most of the time.
Most of the time. What about the other times?
It's hard coordinating everyone's schedules because we're all over the place. Because people have different schedules. Because a lot of us are seniors, and then I'm a graduate student, so my schedule is very different. And then people are in co-op, which really throws things off.
Yeah, it really does. There are a lot of things off. It's crazy. So, I'm actually looking at you right now, and I noticed you have your Eagles shirt on. Is that... Oh, you're also wearing your Eagles championship hat. So, yeah, I mean...
all of these are championship stuff.
Yeah, of course. So, I know you're a major fan of the Eagles. That's how, you and I sort of met. Because you always wore your Eagles gear.
Always.
Always. So, and I know the EAC, Eagles Awesome Challenge, is coming up on May 19th. What do you specifically plan to do for EAC? Are you going to be there, or are you going to...
We're not entirely sure yet, but we hope to be involved somehow.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be really cool if we could,
Yeah.
Yeah. So, one of your passions overall is animals, and I know that, this is the most exciting thing. I know you get really excited when we get to talk about animals. So, because of that, you've been working at the Philly Zoo. What are your plans for the future in that regard? So, for example, potential career in zoology, being a veterinarian, that type of thing.
I want to be a conservation veterinarian and professor. So I'm going to specialize in great apes.
Great apes?
Conservation.
Why specifically great apes?
So I've always been really into evolution and how close they are related to us, and they're going away. So they're all great apes except for humans are either endangered or critically endangered. So they're almost extinct, most of them. So I want to prevent them from going extinct because I believe that they should not go extinct because it would be a tragedy if they did and we were the only great apes left.
Yeah. How many great apes are there left in the world, do you think?
Total?
Yeah. Approximately. You don't have to give the exact number.
If you combined all of them, probably maybe a million. Maybe.
Oh, wow.
If you combine them all. Maybe a little more than that, but probably not much more.
That's not a lot.
No.
Oh, wow.
It's combining all 5 different types.
That's
Or 4.
Wait, there are 4 different types of great ape?
So there's orangutans. If you separate the 2 different types of orangutan, there's 3 different types of orangutan now. So it depends how you're separating things. If you just go the 4 main types, gorillas, chimpanzees, bonobos, and orangutans, there's 4, I guess.
Yeah, it's really sad if you think about that, like in terms of that going on,
It's probably more than a million, but not a lot more.
Probably. So how are
Depends
things?
how you count. They're not very accurate with their counts. They're usually high.
Yeah. How are things going at the Philly Zoo, by the way? Any
Good.
new additions? Any recent developments?
There's the gorilla babies, the sheepdog babies. That's a type of lemur.
Oh, wow.
Sheepdog baby. His name is Johan. He's adorable. And then we have the Ajabu and Amani, the gorilla babies.
Wow. It really must be fun, taking care of them, or at least helping to take care of them.
I love educating people about them.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you're here because at least we're trying, because you can at least help educate the majority of us, because I don't really know much about animals. I mean, I can tell you a gorilla from a chimpanzee, but I can't really do much beside that,
Yeah.
Yeah. So I appreciate having you here in terms of that, because then you can help people like me and people like many people in our audience, because not just loving but learning is a major part of our show, and I think you know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I really do appreciate you talking about that. So, as the president and leader of Neurodragons, this is I think a really personal question for you. What do you think are your biggest strengths and weaknesses have been as the leader of that organization? Corbin?
I don't know.
If you had to really think about it, okay, let's start with strengths. What do you think your strengths have been as a leader?
Good at problem solving.
All right, problem solving. Anything else?
Figuring out what we need to do and when to do it and stuff.
It's still technically problem solving, but yeah, I mean that's still a really good skill to have as a leader. How about
Directing people.
directing people? All right.
Leading. Right?
Yeah. How about your weaknesses?
Figuring out when everyone can meet.
I feel ya. It's a very difficult thing to do. So just one last question, and then we're pretty much done. Your term as president will be coming to an end soon because you're going to be leaving Drexel. What do you hope the future of Neurodragons is going to be?
I hope that it will continue on and flourish
Anything?
and not disappear.
Hope not to. Otherwise, I'll be out of a few jobs. Yeah, I mean, but otherwise, though, where do you see the group in, let's say, 5 years' time?
Hopefully it's a lot bigger and has made a difference and has shown people that it's good to think differently and that everyone thinks differently and it's good to be neurodiverse.
Yeah. Well, Korbin, thank you very much for being on the show.
You're welcome. Glad to be here.
That was my interview with Korbin. For the full transcript of my interview with Korbin, go to www.lovelearndebate.com, click on the Love tab, and you can find the transcript there. You'll be glad you did. Again, www.lovelearndebate.com, and go to the Love tab. You can even leave your comments on how you felt on the website. When we come back after this song by Frizzy, we'll talk about the history of, in my mind, the greatest rock band that ever existed. One that pushed the boundaries of music and completely turned music upside down and inside out. We'll be back after this.
LAPD dispatch.
Oh my god.
Sir, what are you doing?
I just witnessed the shooting.
Calm down, where are you now?
In Wilshire and Fairfax. And oh my god, somebody just got attacked.
Were you hurt?
No, I was in my car, I saw it all from my car.
Where are you coming from?
A bad party, but it's done.
Where at, sir?
At the museum, Peterson.
Okay, sir, explain it to me.
It was a green suburban GMC.
How many people can you see?
I don't know, maybe like 3.
Now what happened to this truck?
Man, a Jeep pulled up.
On its back?
Now on its side, it was black. And there was like 6 or 10 shots in the attack.
So it was a drive-by, sir?
Yes, it all happened in the blur.
What side did they enter?
Passenger, it was a massacre.
Okay, so you're saying that everyone's dead?
Wait, somebody's moving their head.
Is everyone still in the truck, sir? Sir, has anyone fled?
No way to pull it off.
Why?
I don't know why.
Well, what are they driving by?
Towards Cedar Sinai.
Okay, sir, just stay there. Officer is almost there.
I'm not the one that needs one. Look, I don't care.
Okay, sir, car's in pursuit. Are you sure you're not involved in this?
No. I was just a witness.
Hi, I'm John Norris with an MTV News breaking story. We're outside of Peterson's Automotive Museum in Los Angeles, where the 24-year-old rap artist known as Notorious B.I.G., Christopher Wallace, was shot early Sunday morning and later died of gunshot wounds at nearby Cedars-Sinai Medical Center. The Brooklyn rapper, who was a reluctant participant in the East Coast-West Coast feud between his label Bad Boy Entertainment and Death Row Records, had been in Los Angeles to appear as a presenter on Friday night's 11th annual Soul Train Music Awards. On Saturday night, Wallace attended a post-Soul Train Awards party here at Peterson's, when, according to reports, he was sitting in his car shortly after midnight and a drive-by shooting occurred, riddling both Biggie and his Chevrolet Suburban with bullets. Now, after the shooting, a citizen drove Wallace to Cedars-Sinai, where he was pronounced dead. Biggie was to release a double album entitled Life After Death on March 25th. The first single from that album, Hypnotized, went to radio last week. Once again, Christopher Wallace, the rapper Notorious B.I.G., dead of gunshot wounds. That's all for now. We'll have more news as the story
Las
develops.
Vegas police.
Oh my god, I think they're dead.
Who, sir?
I can't tell.
Okay, calm down. Where are you?
Flamingo Road, Maxim Hotel.
And what happened?
This white Cadillac, it just started capping.
At you?
No, a black BMW.
Are they
I
alive?
don't know.
How many?
2 guys. One's really big, the other's regular size.
Do you know how many shots?
Like 10 or 15.
Okay, how many
Oh my
gunmen?
god, this has to be a dream.
What was just one, sir, or were there more?
I saw 4. This isn't happening.
Sir, it's okay. A car's on its way. Sit tight.
Man, I was just here to see the Tyson fight.
Calm down, sir. Calm down. Everything will be all right.
Oh my god.
Sir, did you hear what I said?
I think one got shot in the head.
Which one?
The big one, but he's still moving.
And the other?
He's not moving. Oh my god, he's not moving. There's blood everywhere.
Sir, are you still there? Sir, stop moving.
No, I'm not. I'm not standing over there.
Well, the ambulance and squad car are on their way.
Okay, is there anything else you need me to say?
Were you involved in this?
No. I was just a witness.
Knight was behind the wheel, Shakur in the front passenger seat when witnesses say a white Cadillac pulled up next to them at the intersection of Flamingo and Koval. Witnesses then say a gunman in the Cadillac extended his arm out of the back seat window and fired a semi-automatic pistol at Shakur from close range.
After the shooting, the white Cadillac made a right-hand turn here on Koval, speeding away. Suge Knight, with Tupac leading in the front seat, made a U-turn on Flamingo and started driving back towards the Strip. 2 police officers who were on duty heard the gunshot, but when they responded, they followed Suge Knight and Tupac, which allowed the white Cadillac to get away.
There were several possible motives for the murder. 3 hours before the shooting, this MGM casino surveillance video shows Shakur, Suge Knight, and their entourage attacking Orlando Anderson, LA area gang member. Many believe that Anderson, seen here after the beating, and his friends shot Shakur in retaliation. CNN asked Anderson about the accusation.
Were you involved in any way in the death of Tupac Shakur?
Well, I was not involved.
Anderson was shot and killed months later in a gang-related shooting.
So that was Witness by Frizzy, his most recent album being God King Slave, available now on iTunes and Spotify. Links will be in the description. I worked with Frizzy a few years ago, and since then I have been a massive fan and follower of his work, especially with God King Slave, which I feel is an amazing album with an incredible story, one that I think everybody will enjoy. Again, the album is God King Slave. It is available now on iTunes and Spotify. It began with a performance that turned to a song, which turned to an album, then a legacy. Ever since its founding in 1970, Queen has been widely regarded as one of the greatest bands that ever existed. And quite frankly, I more than agree. After all, before their founding, rock and roll was so much different. There was no real charismatic frontman, no group dynamic, no real excitement or theatricality. However, within 2 decades, all of that would change with a chance encounter. Picture it, London, Imperial College, 1968. A young astronomy student reunites with an old school pupil and forms a band with him. Sounds normal, right? Well, the astronomy student as a young man built a guitar with his father, which, to this day, 50 years later, he still plays. And the old school pupil goes to the Ealing Arts College, where he's friends with a charming young Persian man born in Zanzibar. The names of the two friends are Brian May and Tim Staffel. The band called Smile. Through an advert, they add Roger Taylor, a drummer, to the group and achieve a level of success, even going so far as to snag a record deal with Mercury Records the following year. Soon after, when Smile began touring the college scene of London, Staffel introduces the young Persian friend, Farouk Freddie Bosara, to May and Taylor. Bosara soon becomes a fan of the band. Now, something not known about it at the time was that he was a multi-instrumentalist and a singer with a 4-octave vocal range and a massive talent for songwriting. In 1970, Smile ended abruptly after Staffel left the band Joy Humpy Bong, a band that would only stay together for about a year. As a result, Bosara, now named Freddie Mercury, joined the band, and after recruiting new bassist John Deacon in 1971, changed the name of the group to Queen. With only 9 songs in their catalog, Queen constantly rehearsed, wrote, and performed in small gigs before signing with Trident Records in 1972 for a measly £60 a week. The downtime, however, would give the band enough energy to write their debut eponymous album, published through EMI Records in 1973. Songs on that album, such as Keep Yourself Alive and Liar, demonstrated the beginnings of what would become Queen's highly theatric, almost operatic sound. Although it was well received critically, it did not do well financially within the United States. The same thing happened with their next album, Queen 2. However, the song 7 Seas of Rye did help give the band a level of their national attention. However, it was their third album, Sheer Heart Attack, that would give the band full international attention, especially with one track that would fully establish their theatricality, Killer Queen. A strong multi-instrumental track that was a sheer departure from the songs of the past, Queen would continue using and expanding that style for the next album released in 1975, entitled A Night at the Opera. In particular, for the most famous song from that album, the ever-acclaimed Bohemian Rhapsody. Queen's longest song at the time, it was a combination of balladry, rock, opera, screaming guitar solos, and strong multi-instrumentals, especially from Mercury's piano playing that increased the song's popularity. The follow-ups of A Day at the Races, News of the World, and Jazz continue to evolve the style of Queen, with a few hits coming from each, such as Somebody to Love, Tie Your Mother Down, We Will Rock You, We Are the Champions, Bicycle Race, Fat Bomb Girls, and Don't Stop Me Now. However, as time went on, the critics were starting to get more divisive, with Rolling Stone magazine even saying of the Jazz album, quote, "Jazz is just more of the same dull pastiche that's dominated all this British supergroup's work. Tight guitar / bass / drums, heavy metal cliches, light classical pianistics, 4-part harmonies that make the 4 freshmen sound funky, and Freddie Mercury's throat-scratching lead vocals." It was also during this time that Freddie Mercury would break up with his fiancée Mary Austin, coming out to her as bisexual and truly exploring his sexuality. It was this exploration that would cause him to change his look from the iconic long hair to the even more iconic short hair and chevron mustache, inspired by the Village People's Glenn Hughes. From that came songs such as Crazy Little Thing Called Love and Another One Bites the Dust, both from the 1980 album The Game. However, the fame and prestige that once surrounded Queen had slowly faded. They were not as well recognized and were considered to be well past their prime going into 1985. They needed a performance to get them back on top. And it came in the form of Live Aid, to which Queen completely killed, bringing the 17,000 fans in Wembley Stadium to its feet and reawakening fading interest in the band. In 1986, the band decided to take time off after recording the album A Kind of Magic. This, of course, was around the time that Freddie Mercury was diagnosed with the HIV virus, keeping very secret about it. The result was 2 albums, The Miracle in 1989 and Innuendo in 1991, Innuendo being released about 9 months prior to Mercury's announcement of his AIDS diagnosis and subsequent death the following day. Now, Queen will continue to thrive. Their songs will continue to play across all radio stations. But what made them unique was their drive, their willingness to innovate, and to create something new. What some called weird, Queen was able to make unique. Who would have thought that opera and rock would have gone so well together? Well, Queen did, and they made it work. Even though they still continue to sing with frontman Adam Lambert of American Idol fame, it is the original lineup that will continue to captivate us and keep pushing for the stars in a racing car, passing by like Lady Godiva. Rock on, guys. So what do you guys think? Did you guys learn anything new? If so, please put a comment on www.lovelearndebate.com. Go to the Learn tab and you will find the article there, as well as my list of the top 10 greatest all-time Queen songs. In fact, one of the selections will play us into the next break, performed by Drexel University's own 8 to the Bar. When we come back, I'll talk about the recent accusations by a certain Kill Bill actress that made her more like her own character than ever before.
This thing called love, I just can't handle it. This thing called love, I must get around to it. I ain't ready. Crazy little thing called love. This thing called love, it cries in a cradle all night. It swings, it jives, shakes all over like a jellyfish. I kinda like it. Crazy little thing called love. There goes my baby. She knows how to rock and roll. She drives me crazy. She gives me hot cold fever. then she leaves me in a cool sweat. What is this thing we call love? I gotta be cool, relax, get hip, get all my tracks, take a back seat, hitchhike, take a long ride on my motorbike until I'm ready. Crazy little thing called love. How about we all start to snap? I gotta be cool, relax, get hip, get on my tracks, take a back seat, hitchhike, take a long ride on my motorbike until I'm ready. Crazy little thing called love. There goes my baby. She knows how to rock and roll. She drives me crazy. So call me baby. Gives me hot cold fever, then she leaves me in a cool sweat. Here comes that key change we love. I gotta be cool, relax, get hit, get all my tracks, take a back seat, hitchhike, and take a long ride on my motorbike until I'm ready. Crazy little thing called love. Crazy little thing called love. Crazy little thing called love. Crazy little thing called love.
And now, some final thoughts. A debate to start at the end of this program. For the last 3 months, ever since her #MeToo post on Instagram, actress Uma Thurman has been building up anticipation for the story about former film mogul Harvey Weinstein, producer of her arguably most well-known film, Kill Bill. And now, in an interview with New York Times reporter Maureen Dowd, Thurman finally revealed her story about multiple cases of rape and sexual assault, in particular Harvey Weinstein's multiple threats and an instance of sexual assault against the actress beginning in the mid-1990s. Says Thurman of Weinstein's first assault at London's Savoy Hotel, "It was such a bat to the head. He pushed me down. He tried to shove himself on me. He tried to expose himself. He did all kinds of unpleasant things. But he didn't actually put his back into it and force me. You're like an animal wriggling away, like a lizard. I was doing anything I could to get the train back on the track. My track, not his track." Weinstein would then continuously threaten to ensure Thurman's blacklisting from Hollywood, should she go public, creating a relationship that would sour many things in Thurman's life, including, in particular, her relationship to Quentin Tarantino. This would culminate in a preventable car crash on the set of Kill Bill that Thurman tried to use to sue Miramax. However, Miramax, run by Weinstein, would only release the footage if she signed a release agreement that would, quote, release them of any consequences of Thurman's future pain and suffering. Luckily, Quentin Tarantino sympathized and, 15 years later, gave Thurman the footage. This verbal assault by Thurman is, in my book, a very strong breath of fresh air, a very much welcome show of strength and honesty as a working actress who is very much admired by the many fans who have seen her work in Pulp Fiction and both Kill Bill films. Her reveal more than lived up to the hype, and she has not only been able to hold her own against misogynistic Hollywood, but really show that anyone can display strength without wielding a Hattori Hanzo. Well done, Miss Thurman, and best of luck on the rest of your career. We, the fans of your unquestionable genius, salute you and anticipate your next project with great interest. What do you guys think? Do you agree or disagree? Either way, please go to www.lovelanddebate.com, click on the debate section, and respond, please. And while you're at it, don't forget to like us on Facebook by going to www.facebook.com/lovelanddebate. Follow us on Twitter @LovelandDebate. Follow us on our Instagram page @LovelandDebate. And even subscribe to the podcast on SoundCloud or iTunes Podcast. My thanks to Omi Larijani for the graphics and show soundtrack, Frizzy and 8 to the Bar for their amazing musical contributions to the show, Lola Heffernan and Imogen Aiken for their tremendous generosity in lending their voices, and Korbin for sitting down with me for the interview. That's it for this week. I'll see you guys in 2 weeks, ready to go. Thank you guys for listening, and until next time, keep loving, keep learning, keep debating. We'll see you next time on Oli's Opinions. Goodbye.
This has been an LLD production, recorded in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.